And welcome everybody to Reverse the Verse. It is Friday, May 12th, 2016. I know this now because I put the date up there. Look at that, the date's right there. Friday, May 12th, 2016. I'm your host, Community Manager Jared Huckabee. With me today is our other community manager out of the Austin office, Tyler Wicken. Say hello, Tyler.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you
All
for
right.
asking.
So this is our first couple minutes here. This is our audio test. Everybody is going to tell us whether we're too loud or whether we're not loud enough and all that good stuff. So they're also like 35, 45 seconds behind, so we'll wait for them to catch up. If you're just joining us and you've never watched Reverse the Verse before, Reverse the Verse is the Cloud Imperium Games community team's weekly informal live stream with the fans. We're going to talk a bit about our week in review, talk a bit about 2.4 currently on the PTU, take some questions and answers from the RSI chat, maybe do a little bit of Where's My Spaceship, and then finally do a looking ahead. So, hey, Tyler.
Hello.
Why don't you start us off, man? What did you do this week?
It was a very busy week, actually. I'm going to start with over the weekend. I went to DreamHack last weekend. It was really cool. Met up with Captain Richard and a bunch of other people.
Hold on. The date's wrong. It's Friday the 13th. It's Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th. Can you update it?
Can I tell you how incredibly long and hard the last 2 weeks have been with Ben and Alexis not here?
Oh, I'm fully aware.
So it's Friday. I see. I got all braggy. Like, I know what date it is. Let's see what happens when Lando gets braggy. Like, I mean, has anybody ever looked at me and said, "Hey, that's a guy who knows what day it is"? No, they have not. So it's Friday the 13th. So that's what you get when you put the thing together yesterday. For those asking, Ben and Alexis are on their way back. They're not back in the studio yet. They're still flying cross country. So they're not back. So Tyler, we can.
I'm getting lots of messages that I am louder than you are.
Yes, we know that.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna roll with it then. This is a really busy week. Having Ben and Alexis out definitely was a noticeable impact. DreamHack last weekend, I got to meet up with Captain Richard. Some of you may have caught our stream from last Friday from the studio. Also, Thomas Hennessy was visiting the Austin studio this week, basically helping me get acquainted with all the various equipment that I'll be using so we can give some more exposure to the Austin studio and get some cool content coming out of here. Another week of social media. Lots of Evocati PTU patches, which, I can talk about that, or do you want to wait for that?
We have a whole section about PTU.
All right, cool. Well, so yeah, just the usual stuff, times 5, trying to make up for Ben and Alexis not being here, and I'm really looking forward to them being back.
Yes, the unfortunate side effect, well, one of the many unfortunate side effects of Ben and Alexis being gone the last 2 weeks is I instantly discovered how much Ben and Alexis actually do during the week. So I thought I did a lot, and I do, but it takes a team. There's a reason everybody here on this team is on this team. So covering for them has been an honor and a privilege, and I hope it never happens again. So I did not get a haircut. I'm just not wearing my hat.
Yeah.
Remember, I shaved my head like weeks ago, so this is just the hair growing back.
It actually grew back pretty fast.
There are fewer things I do better in this world than grow hair. So if I could do anything else in this world as well as I grow hair, then I'd be much better at everything else I do. So week in review, let's see. This week we had on Monday, we had 10 for the developers with, I believe it was Omar and Adam. Check that out. A lot of cool answers from an art and a lore perspective. Not necessarily the kind of thing that you'd see most times, but it's very cool. We like having them on when we can. Breakouts this week were, I think it was an older lore makers and whatnot. Next week we're going to break out that ship shape for the Herald. That was hold on, this might actually be Ben. That's the only reason I'm stopping to check. That's the reason my notifications are on, so that I know when Ben's going to be here.
While you check that, I forgot one thing. We also recorded a behind-the-scenes piece of the QA team in Austin and everything they do in preparation and testing of 2.4. So, yeah. Sorry.
Why did I shave my beard? I shaved my beard because this morning I tried trimming it while I had hiccups. Pro tip, do not trim your beard when you have hiccups. So there's really nothing more to that. It's really hard to think about what I did this week. This week was
A lot.
So long. Well, and Hennessy wasn't here either. So we filmed a ship shape Caterpillar 2. We did a ship shape on the Caterpillar already. It's up on our website or up on our YouTube channel. We filmed Caterpillar 2 this week. That'll go out next week. So you'll take a look at the updated white boxing and some of the new features that the Caterpillar will have. It's very cool. And then we filmed another Lore Makers this week, both while Hennessy was out. So, yeah. So, what did you guys do this week? We never asked that. What did the community do this week?
Now we wait 30 seconds.
You have to wait 30 seconds. Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't. The date. Oh, can I change? Hold on. I can't change the date. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna change the date. Look at this. Watch this. Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Nice.
Everybody quiet. Yes. The date was right the entire time. I started a diet this week. And that was terrible. It was terrible.
I start one of those every day.
Yeah, but this is one I can't waffle on. Without going into too many details, Disco's having some minor health issues. So one of the things we're doing to try to alleviate that is get fit, get healthy. So I've been on that stupid keto diet that everybody and their mom is on. Mostly because I don't eat fruits or vegetables. I'm that kid that never grew out of not liking fruits or vegetables when I was a kid. So it really limits my diet options. So basically cutting out carbs is the only thing I can do.
Is there even one vegetable that you do like?
No. I love potatoes. And for
That counts.
years, and no, it doesn't. Because for years, growing up as a child, I kept saying, there's something different about potatoes. There's something different about potatoes. and in 2002, the year might be off by a little bit, but you can check it on Wikipedia. The Food and Drug Administration reclassified potatoes out of the fruit and vegetable group and put them in the bread and starch group. And I was like, I was right.
It'll be back.
I told you there was something different about them.
It'll be back, just like Pluto. It'll be back.
Yeah. So I've had that I've been doing that keto transition. That first week transition is just garbage. So but starting to feel better. So yeah, hi. Okay, so week in review. Ben and Alexis were out on bereavement leave. Thomas was in Austin helping you set up, learn how to shoot stuff and shooting that QA thing. Justin was here editing stuff for this week and next week, and we're actually kind of ahead. So like when you see next week's segments, I'll still have a bushy beard and stuff. So we're ahead on things. It's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get out of week in review since that was a bust because there's only two of us. So
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, we're going to move into Where's My Spaceship? Now, our director of spaceships is not here today, but I do want to tell you that work on the Caterpillar is continuing here in the studio. We have built out one of the habitat modules for the Caterpillar already in CryEngine. So we're already building the ship in CryEngine. That's cool. They're working on the interior. The interior modules right now, while they're still concepting some minor changes to the exterior. For the most part, it's going to look like the Caterpillar that you know and love, and I am pleased to report that the command module is back to being 2 levels. So for everybody that lamented the command module going back to a single story, it is now back to being 2 stories. So, and you'll see the white box block out of that next week in ATV. So congratulations on that. I love Drake. Drake is probably my favorite manufacturer because I'm a big fan of the used future stuff. I'm a Blade Runner guy, not a Minority Report guy. So happy to see Drake being fleshed out. What else? Where's my spaceship? Work on the Herald continues there in Austin. Josh Coons is killing it. That's going to come sooner than probably most people think. No dates. We're not going to do dates, but it is on its way. Reliant is coming hangar ready in 2.4, as mentioned in our monthly report. By the way, if you haven't read our monthly report, go read our monthly report. I mean, it's huge. We put a lot of time and effort into that thing, and you'll find no better source of information of what's going on in Star Citizen than in the monthly report. So you should check that out. Also, some cool 2.4 pictures if you haven't seen them already. So, what else are we working on? Well,
The Hornet.
the Hornet. Chris Smith is working on the F7A Hornet, which is the actual mil-spec version of the Hornet, and this is the new 2946 version of it. So it's very cool. Don't have anything to show you yet. He's still working out shape language and everything, but it looks very sleek, very futuristic, but still easily identifiable as a Hornet. It's very cool. It's kind of like looking at the new like that Dodge Challenger compared to the old Challengers kind of thing.
Sleek is the perfect word for it.
Yeah, it's very recognizable as a Hornet, but it's still very different.
It's more like organic and rounded and smooth edges.
Cool.
Yeah, sleek.
Cool. Yeah. Well, so far,
unlike us.
Again, development will continue. It's sleek right now. We'll see where it is when it ends up.
Totally true.
But he's building that out for Squadron 42. By
the way, to address the people talking about my glasses, they are real. I've realized that I'm blinder than I thought I was. I have no idea how to maintain them. I paid $50 extra for the ones that are easily cleanable, and they're covered in fingerprints, and I don't know what to do about it. I've tried everything. So, anyway, yes, they're real.
For those asking, why don't we show it? Because it's not ready to show. It's basically, most video game companies do this thing where they don't show you anything until it's final. And then you get an art book after the fact where it shows you all the iteration. We do it a bit differently where we show you a lot of the process. The problem is we have to strike a balance because we don't want to show you things until we're confident they're not going to change. Now that may still change, but we have to feel at least reasonably confident that we're on the right path before we show you something, because otherwise we're just playing with your emotions. We show you something that is likely to change, you get attached to it, and then when we change it, people get upset and whatnot. So there's a balance. There's a balancing act. So we show plenty of things early, like you're going to see the white box of the Caterpillar early, and whatnot. And it's even different than the last white box of the Caterpillar that we showed. But we always do try to be responsible in what we show. Make sure we have to have a reasonable level of confidence that this is going to be somewhat indicative of the finished product. So it's not always the case. Sometimes changes happen late in the game, but we always do try to do our best. So at this point, it's still too early in the process. It would be irresponsible to show it, because it would set off half the community. Oh, I hate this, and the other half of the community. Oh, I like this, and then it may not even be anything near that. So he's still exploring it. So we're just talking to you about the current exploration. So.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so what else is in where my spaceship? We've got the Caterpillar and the Herald and as we've mentioned, the Gemini will be included in 2.4. That looks pretty cool. It's a mil-spec variant of the Starfarer, so don't expect a lot of huge visual changes and whatnot. It's Aegis buying it from MISC and then retrofitting it a bit, so they're not out to make it look prettier or anything. It's a military repurposing of a commercial vehicle, but that'll be included in 2.4. That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that's.
Well, there is. I know UK's working on something else. Concepting on the Buccaneer is coming along great. We announced the Buccaneer concept sale price will be $110. We do not have a date for the sale yet. I can tell you it won't be next week. So you've got some breathing room. If for any reason Ben comes in here and says yes, it will be next week, we'll announce that later today to give you guys as much heads up. But I don't think it's going to be this week. But yeah, it's coming along. Looks cool. Not ready to show that yet because again, we're still locking it down, and plus that's part of what the whole concept sale reveal is, But yeah, I think a lot of folks will like it. I'm a big fan of the Drake. Maybe I'm biased, so I really like the Drake aesthetic. So yeah, that's where's my spaceship. So yay, where's my spaceship? Moving on to PTU. Now,
Woo!
now 2.4 is currently on the PTU testing. Now, I've seen a lot of chatter on Twitter, on Reddit, on Discord or whatnot. Oh, it's a PTU for the PTU, or it's pre-PTU or whatever. No, it's PTU. PTU for the entire time that we've been running it has always had limited access. With the exception of one time where we just blew it open to everybody as a test. Because we wanted to see how many people would actually be interested in it and whatnot. So we did that one time as a test. But short of the one time where we just opened it up to everybody at once, it has always had access in waves. First wave, second wave, third wave, such and such. That's what it is now. It's PTU on a first wave. The only difference between now and before is that the first wave of PTU testers has a funny name, avocado. And they've got an NDA. And the reason they've got an NDA is just because we're trying to keep everything focused. We want all the feedback to go to one place. We don't have to try to track it down on Reddit. We don't want to try to track it down in YouTube videos. Right now, we're experimenting with a new kind of feedback, a new kind of focus testing. And Tyler's going to talk a bit about how incredibly successful it's been. So
Yeah.
we're big fans of it right now. But it is still PTU. It is still just the first wave, and eventually it will expand to the second wave, which will be public, which will be rather a bigger wave, but it won't have the NDA on it. And then maybe a third or fourth, or who knows? We never quite know these things. It all depends on how fast we get the issues resolved. So Tyler, why don't you talk a little bit about how effective the Evocati has been?
Yeah, so far, while we've had the Evocati test group testing, we have put out 5 patches for 2.4. One of the cool things about this focus test group, we have had 94% of the Evocati testers actively play in the first week, which 6% of people, sure, whatever, life happens, computers blow up. 94% is an absolute incredible number for something like this. We've had 1,100 bugs submitted, which is about on par with what you'd expect with a much larger group, yet we're getting those results from a much smaller group. Another cool thing is 140 of those bugs have over 10 reproductions, which means people are working together. People are working together to identify and prioritize the bugs. The amount of duplicates on the issue council has significantly been reduced. So people are searching, people are taking their time to make sure that something's not already submitted. And as you said, what our plan is to do is to continue what we're doing now, and then add in an additional wave, and that's when the NDA will be lifted. And that's basically for scale testing, stress testing, and all that jazz. I have a handy fact sheet. Did I miss anything? So based on the success that we've been having with the issue council, we've gathered a ton of feedback. Also, the Evocati has helped because it's been so structured. We haven't had a bunch of cloudy data. We've been able to really see how we can make it better. So the guys from Turbulent are going to be flying out to Austin, and there's going to be a lot of improvements with the issue council, better search functionality, and a bunch of other stuff. And then the last thing I want to say is the most common question that we are seeing is, how can I get into Evocati? I want to be in those first waves. Well, I'll preface it with saying, first of all, it's not an exclusive playtest group where you get to jump in and see content before everybody else. It is for people who are patient and willing to play a very broken form of the game early on because they want to test it and get it into a playable state and to help with the development of the game. It is not a sneak peek, I'm in early, whatever. But with that said, being active successfully, and I say successfully because posting gibberish on the issue council does not benefit you, but posting successfully on the issue council amongst just being active and whatnot, it will get you added. And there are going to be intervals throughout the year that won't be public, where we will actually update Evocati or the various waves, also the first PTU wave, second, whatever, with people. And I think we're looking to do that this summer. So that's how you get in. Anyways, that's pretty much all my updates with 2.4. It's going great. And I just want to say, for the people that are on there testing, thank you very much. You guys are absolutely killing it. And it's been wildly successful.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to remember that starts as an alpha, public with 2.3.1 that's on live servers. That's for everybody. You play, whatnot. Public test universe, it's a test environment. It's meant to generate feedback, generate tickets, generate bug reports, and help us fix things. What we discovered when we opened it up to too many people is that it became an untenable mess. It's the overwhelming majority of people log into PTU one time, see all the new content real quick, and then log out. And we ended up paying fees to send the patch and the data down and stuff like that. So that costs us money. So
I have one of those, by the way, on my fact sheet. I had some finance stuff, but I didn't want to bring it up just because I was like, nobody likes talking about money.
No.
But I think instead of talking about the cost of running these things, it's really the thing is being efficient. And because of the way that we've refined this process, we are so much more efficient, not just in data, not just in numbers, not just in the speed of which we're getting these PTU patches out, but also in money. I mean, it costs money for data to be downloaded, and the amount of people that were downloading the game and then just never logging in, that costs. And so we're much more efficient now.
Despite some protestations to the contrary, we do try to be exceptionally responsible with our spending because it is your money. Beyond that, more important than the money, like you said, I do have a cup. There we go. That's a sugar-free Red Bull, actually.
Mine's
But
beer.
more importantly than the money thing,
It's water.
Because we've opened it up to everybody before, is like you said, is the efficiency thing. You go into our Discord server, and Will Leverett is in there, 20 hours a day, interacting with these people individually, one-on-one, getting the detailed feedback, and you can only do that with a smaller, manageable group. So, like I said, it will expand. It will expand to a bigger wave, and the NDA will lift, and we will see more people in PTU because we still need that testing. There is a point where we still need stress testing that can only be accomplished by many people and stuff like that. But that comes next. Right now, what we wanted to try something. We wanted to try a small, focused, dedicated group that we could direct, in specific areas without all the background noise of a wider PTU. And so far it's worked great. So yeah, that's what it is. It's still PTU. Yeah. It's not pre-PTU. It's not PTU. It's PTU just as it's always been. It's just a smaller wave with a funny name.
Yeah.
It's the only difference.
Ahmed is so ecstatic and so happy that we have these packed active servers of people that are like, we're not your boss, you don't work for us, but we make suggestions like, hey, we need help testing this one aspect, and he just sees the flock switch to ArtCorp or switch to Crusader, and he's just like, oh, this is so fun, and yeah, there's a joke actually. Mike Jones, our director of DevOps and LiveOps. By the way, Ahmed is our lead DevOps engineer. He's the guy who presses the button when the patch goes out.
That was easy.
That's not really how it's done. But Mike Jones makes a joke every day. At the end of the day, he says, Ahmed, if you don't go home, I'm going to fire you. Because Ahmed works 100% of the time. And nobody's it's not just him, too. I mean, like you said, with Will, with all of the guys in the publishing process. Oh, yeah. Tom and Jason Ely, all of the guys in the publishing process, the guys who are doing the back end and the server maintenance stuff. 2.4 is a big patch. These guys are putting in some insane hours, and the crazier part is it's by choice. And I've been here for almost 2 years, and so the passion in this project has always been astounding. But this patch, it's really bringing it out. I mean, people are getting excited, and people are really burning the midnight oil. I'm looking forward to it getting in everybody's hands.
Yes. So yeah, so that's BTU, and check in next week for possible updates. It's not going to go wider this weekend, anything, so anybody holding their breath on it can relax. I think Doom is out. I'm going to play Doom this weekend.
Did you play any Overwatch, by the way?
No, because the Overwatch beta happened in the middle of this last 2 weeks. I completely, by the time I realized it was happening, it was over.
I actually only played it because I was at DreamHack, and I have a big ass head. I can never find hats that fit me. We had this discussion offline, and I went up to the Blizzard booth at DreamHack, and I was like, "Oh, can I see that hat?" And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna look silly on me, like a whatever." And I put it on, and I was like, "Oh my god, this hat fits! I can't believe it!" And so I bought 3 of them, and they're Overwatch hats. And so When I was walking away, I realized I had 3 Overwatch hats, and I had never played Overwatch. So I went home and played it, and I'm pretty hooked. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan. The day they revealed it at BlizzCon, I bought like 3 shirts.
yeah,
I went for the
it's
different
it's
characters.
really well made, and I really enjoyed it.
All right, so that's the end of our PTU section. We're going to open it up to questions and answers from the studio audience. So, guys, if you have a question for Tyler Wicken or myself, we are members of the community team. You can type it into RSI chat, into the general chat. Please preface your questions with the word "question" in capital letters surrounded by brackets. It'll help me pull it out from the detritus. So, question right off the bat here. Let me turn off the auto scroll here because I'm about to lose it. Concerning the Buccaneer, can you share how it transports cargo? All Buccaneer questions, guys, are going to wait until the sale. Basically, that's the sale is when we talk about all the bits and how it works and all that stuff like that. So designers write us up a brief and we include it in the sales page and stuff like that. So I don't have any of that information at this point because it's all still being worked on. So if anybody has this idea that we do all this stuff and then get it all ready and then just sit on it for a couple weeks, that is not the way it works. We iterate on this stuff until minutes before it goes live. What's our most recent, what's our most current thinking on this stuff. So we try to we get the most accurate, most up to date, and most current information available because in game development, like they say, the only constant is change. So we wait until the last minute and get the most recent current thinking on that stuff. So I don't have answers about how the Buccaneer does anything right now because we won't have that stuff until the day of the concept sale.
Oh, I should probably open this chat. Here we go.
Will we see ship shopping? Will we see ship shopping in the near future? Will you postpone this feature so the sales won't increase? Probably not in the near future. It has nothing to do with sales. The pledge process is to support the development of the game, and we give you a ship in return. Ships will all be purchasable in game at some point, through UEC. It's just a question of when we're comfortable enough in persistence and shopping and all that stuff to make that stuff happen. This is 2.4 is the very, very first iteration of persistence and shopping, stuff like that. So it's going to be a while before we're confident enough in everything that we move something as important as buying ships into the game. But it will happen. Could you ask the Frankfurt guys how far along procedural generation is? It's a hard question to answer. Like, what do you mean how far along? It's like 42% along. It's not really a quantifiable thing because you build it out for one type of ecosystem, then you build it out so it can properly populate forests. Then you've got to do deserts. Then you've got to do tropical climates. Then you've got to do oceanic climates. So I mean, it's going to be a long process. But the stuff that I've seen recently, we've got full planets now that are rocky, and we can and gravity and physics are working. You can get into a gray cat and you can drive around and stuff like that. So yeah, it's coming along. Doesn't look too much differently than what you've already seen before. Working on a lot of the technical aspects right now. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, Sandbon says, when is part 3 of the Prospector Q&A coming? That was a 2-part comlink.
Yep. Is your background a work in progress version of Port Olisar update? No, actually, this was older work by Emery Switzer. Both of our backgrounds are lighting explorations done by Emery, or Emra, as I say it. So it's kind of older, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I just thought they were very pretty. I liked them a lot. Who is my favorite Overwatch hero? I'm a big fan of the Man with No Name, series. Fistful of dollars, a few dollars more, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So I'm really looking forward to playing Numbnuts, who looks like the Man with No Name. I can't remember his character name. Not Reaper. No. The guy who looks like Clint Eastwood in the Westerns.
I don't know. Mine's Junkrat. I like the explosives.
I'm also probably going to play a lot of the turret guy because I'm a
Oh
wussy.
yeah.
I always like the turret in Team Fortress 2.
I also enjoyed Widowmaker because I like sniping.
Come on. Sorry. Vincent Sinatra is like.
Oh, is Vinny coming on?
Vinny is coming on.
All right.
Let's see. The ATV fast forward. Should talk about the ATV fast forward a bit. If you saw that, that's part 1 of our piping prototype, done by somebody in the UK. I actually don't know the name of the person for it. I meant to find out before the show, and just the last 2 weeks have been pretty crazy. So, but it's an example of different mechanics that can be included in levels. You saw different multiple ways of disabling security, multiple ways of opening doors, explosive decompression, all that kind of stuff. And in part 2, you'll see hacking and all kinds of stuff. And of course, it's all very early. You saw the UI was non-existent and stuff like that. They have to figure out all the mechanics, and the UI builds on top of that kind of thing. But some of the mechanics you'll see in missions for Squadron 42 and in missions for Star Citizen throughout. So once you see, you can see yourself here. That means they can see you on the show. That's Vinny Sinatra. Hi, Vinny Sinatra.
Hello.
Hi, Vince. Vinny can't hear me at all, can he?
No, Vinny can't hear you at all. So I'm gonna scoot over here. That way.
Look at Tyler with his glasses.
See, and people thought, I was like, why do we need this little box that stretches over? I'm like, well, now that's where your head is. So see, that's where your head is. If I didn't put that box in there, we'd be all close and whatnot.
That's all right.
So Vinny Sinatra is our QA. What's the
Lead.
QA lead here in the LA studio. He runs the QA team. How's 2.4 testing going?
It's going well. We're trying to crank things out as soon as we can. 2.4 touches a lot of things, a lot of interconnecting parts. So there's of course a lot of things that can break. So we're hammering those out for the most part. Persistence, good times.
Yeah, we're gonna do a segment with Paul Rendell here soon about persistence and what exactly persistence is, why it's so important, and how it lays the foundation for everything going forward. I think we're filming that on Tuesday next week.
Nice.
So look for it in the week after, probably.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that's a good call out. Vince did all that retaliator feedback and killed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good.
I can't hear anything you said.
Oh, yes. Can we hold on?
You can give him one of them, right? You don't want to know what's been in Lando's ear. He can't hear me.
Give me one.
That was my
All right.
short window to talk crap about
You do
Lando.
that?
I didn't make it.
There you go. Now you can hear Tyler.
All right, there we go.
Hi.
Hey, Vinny.
He was telling you did a good job on the retaliator feedback.
Oh, did I? All right, sweet, good. Always like feedback on feedback.
Yeah. Is anyone from CIG going to DragonCon this year? We're still talking about it. We had plans to, and then we expanded our Gamescom trip to 3 weeks so that we could hit the Frankfurt studio and the UK studio, and then it ran over DragonCon. So we're still working it out. The tentative plan is to send Mr. Tyler Whitkin right there. Maybe. I'm pulling stuff out. Not supposed to use our hands. But we don't have anything definitive yet. So, what else we got?
Hi, Vinny. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I know, man. Nice glasses.
I know. Is it Cheesesteak Friday today?
I have to talk a little
I don't
louder.
know. I don't know if they're in the area, but
don't
I'm
know.
going to have to hit them up if they are.
Yeah, no. We haven't had Cheesesteak Friday in a while.
That's because Hennessy had to go on a diet. Jerk.
Let me tell you something. I spent the whole week with Hennessy. He is on no diet.
Hi, Doris.
Lando, what do you have against polite Canadians? Nothing I don't have against any Canadian.
You're ridiculous.
I'm trying to think of... Sean Tracy might be the only Canadian I've ever met in person.
Sean's Canadian.
Yeah.
I did.
No. You met WTFO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, not only is Sean Tracy a Canadian, he was in the Canadian military.
Ah.
So, yeah. Is there a way to watch behind-the-scenes footage of the game making? Yeah, visit our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is full of videos about the making of the game. We put out roughly 2 to 4 every week. Why have hangars not been open to invite friends in? Because that relies on persistence. Because the hangars up to this point have worked entirely on your local computer. And part of what happens in 2.4 is we move the hangar up to running on our game servers. After that, we can start working on bringing people into your hangars. Plus, with the addition of ArcCorp and Crusader, it became less necessary to do, or less. What's the word I'm looking for? A lesser priority. Oh, I'm blank. I've got that diet brain, guys. It became less urgent to do to invite to hangars because everybody pretty much had the same hangar. You know, everything was in the same place, a couple different ships and whatnot, but for the most part, it's the same thing. Now with 2.4 and persistence and your ability to arrange your hangar how you want, your hangar will start to have its own personality. Then it becomes worth it to take the time to start inviting people to hangars. So it'll come.
Little star decorator.
Yeah, it just hasn't been possible up until now, and now that it's starting to be possible, we can start working on it.
That's right.
Hmm?
Just saying. I'm awesome for the hat.
Could you tell Vinny he's awesome for the hat? What's your hat?
It's the Flyers hat.
The Flyers.
right.
We'll get them next year.
I took off my glasses because Tyler had glasses and I didn't want to look dumb.
Too many glasses.
So now I can't see anything.
Are we going to... It's too fast!
Will the F-7A body kit have to wait for Squadron 42? I don't think it has to wait for Squadron 42. It does have to wait for the F-7A to be built, though.
Yeah.
So, it has to wait at least that long.
Excuse me. Sorry.
What?
I burped earlier and I got 3 PMs saying to say excuse me. When will we see NPCs in ArcCorp? It's being worked on. David Pang in the Austin studio has been doing a lot of animation work, setting that up.
I have no price information on the Corvette. Basically, if you noticed in our official announcements forum, we have a thread with ship prices. The second we know the second we've decided what the price on something is, I post the price up there, which is why the Buccaneer price is up there now, and there isn't a sale next week. That's how we're doing it now. I mean, when we know, I'm putting it up there. So if the price for something that isn't out yet isn't up there, it's because we don't have it. We don't know what it is. So I can't tell you. Can you publish the ship loaner chart for 2.4 to the forum, please? No, because the ship loaner chart is all messed up right now. Basically, the way the ship loaners are supposed to work is if you have a multi-crew vehicle, you're supposed to get a Constellation. If you have a single-seat vehicle, you're supposed to get a Hornet. Those being the two kind of, iconic, trademark ships of Star Citizen. The times that varies is when there's another version of the ship in your series that's available. So if you have an you have an Aquila, you're gonna get a Constellation. If you have a Vanguard Sentinel, you're gonna get the Vanguard. Was it the Warden?
Warden.
Yeah, you're gonna get the Warden. So I mean, if there's a ship in the line that's available, you're gonna get the ship in the line. But if there's not a ship in the line, it's going to be either a Hornet or a Constellation. That's not the case in some places, but those are bugs and errors. So we're working with Turbulent to get those squared away. Again, it's just in the list of priorities. There are more important things. But that's what it's supposed to be. Hornet or a Constellation. Unless you have a ship of that line. That happens to be available. Will buggies and ground vehicles ever get throttles? I have no idea.
Actually, the current Greycat is using the default CryEngine settings for ground vehicles, and it's going to be reworked to handle significantly better. But the first time I drove a Greycat, I was pretty frustrated.
Yeah, look for that to change mostly when we start working on the first ground vehicle, which is on the calendar for this year. Actually, I've seen it. I'm not going to tell you when because I honestly can't remember when. But I mean, let's be real. If I could remember when, I'm still not going to tell you when because I don't do when questions. But it's on the calendar for this year. The Ursa rover.
But you did ask Pedro one question. I loved that.
Yeah, and then
I
asked
loved
Pedro
that.
one question. I was like,
As soon as I heard you say it, I was like, justice.
well, it's because when I talked to Pedro, I turned back into a fan.
That's totally fair. He's
I turned back
pretty
into a
amazing
fan.
individual.
Will the Avocados get the 99th Test Squadron Forum title? No, because they're two different things.
I love that we call them avocados.
Actually, before you say that one, I've been asked a lot. What is the avocado going to get as a reward for what they're doing? Do we get a badge? Do we get a shirt? Do we get a whatever? But just a reminder, they're not like an elite group that's better than everybody else. They're just contributors that have been helping out and earned their way to help us more. So anyway, go on. I made you forget. Oh, Justin.
You stay here.
Don't do that to another man's hat.
That's not his hat.
No.
It's not his hat.
I know, seriously.
The hat's garbage.
It's gonna go in
The hat's garbage.
museum.
As a bald guy, I have to tell you,
The hat's garbage.
hats are sacred.
Look, Thomas just stepped on the hat. I could tell.
I should step on that hat. I heard you guys mentioning cheesesteaks.
Hennessy, I miss you. He can't hear me.
I could find out.
I think Randy was looking at it
I
today,
could've
too.
ran- I could've
I just
ran
sent him the link.
Vinny, can you still hear me? Vinny can't hear me either.
I hope
He doesn't
that
even have his head
Mayweather
thing in.
fights
Oh, yeah.
Conor
Well,
McGregor.
Vinny lost his thing, so he can't hear you.
Oh,
I mean, this is
Was that?
Vinny, tell Thomas that I miss him. I'm trusting you with this because Jared will break the telephone.
Tyler misses you.
He shouldn't miss me. We had a good time.
Yeah. Did you like the sincerity I gave him when I did that?
Yeah, it was good.
It was eye
it felt
contact.
genuine.
Yeah.
It was genuine.
Breakfast taco every
Yeah.
day and never delivered.
Oh no,
Okay.
asks.
No breakfast tacos? Dude.
Yeah. How many systems does CIG intend to have playable by the end of beta? No idea, man. We're still in alpha. We're still building out the alpha. That's a
Beta's a dream.
yeah. It's just it's a horse before the cart thing, man.
Anything more
But
than a whisper.
it's who knows how big the company is going to be, how many resources we're going to have, how many breakthroughs we're going to have between now and then. We didn't think we'd be this close to procedural planets, until well after release. So it's just that's what game development is. It's not game construction. There's not this. I mean, you lay out a plan. You have to have some kind of goal and whatnot. But ultimately, there's no predicting inspiration. There's no predicting, when you're going to when somebody on some team somewhere is going to have that breakthrough and some part of the game is going to leap forward, or when the exact opposite is going to have some part of the game is going to hit a roadblock and we're just not going to be able to find an answer for this thing for some time. So it has to be deprioritized while we work on the stuff that we do have answers for. So it's just way too early for that kind of thing.
I've been seeing some of it, though.
Been seeing some of what?
Some of Sean stuff, the procedural stuff.
Oh, yeah.
and it's getting there. Can't wait.
I don't have any answers about Moby Glass.
Big Benny's project update? ?
Very, 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 very close. Very close. We could still use a few more video clips to replace. Basically, we have it done. We're just not 100% happy with it. So we're hoping to get some more better footage. More better footage. There's some good English. We're hoping to get some more better footage to kind of replace some of
more
the other clips
better.
we have. But yeah. And it's not just the video. It's coming with a couple other things. So we're waiting for the other things to get in line. I will be 66 tomorrow. Do we have a birthday flare? We do not. But happy birthday, Stardream.
QA types picking things that make them unravel? That would
Yeah,
never happen.
yeah. If you're asking me questions about, I'm seeing a couple questions about Star Citizen beta, guys. So not anywhere near there
Is that an airplane?
right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have the Santa Monica Airport nearby, so we have planes flying over.
You should have said that was like the
constantly.
audio team in the background working.
The outer team is in the UK.
That's true. We have one here. One lonely audio sound designer here in Austin.
He's got a pretty cool office, though.
He does. He really does.
We should do a tour of that office. We should tour that office and what he does there, because that's a
Tyler
very
does
cool.
give an excellent tour of that office.
It's a very
by the
good
way.
office. It's
Yeah.
all right. I've seen it.
No, it's pretty good.
I've seen it. It's
Yeah, actually, that'd be fun. We haven't really shown the inside of the Austin office since almost a year ago. It'd be cool to show. We got some cool lights above the art pit now. There's like some LEDs. You can change the colors, and yeah, we don't compare to your epic food area. I don't know what it's called.
Terra Prime, sir.
Yes, but we try.
I have no answers about launch, guys. It's even farther away than beta.
Bum, 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 bum,
OP
bum, bum,
NPCs and Crusader getting nerfed.
We have OP NPCs.
You have OP NPCs?
Must be talking about the pirates.
Pirates are OP.
Well, when they spawn in relentless waves. And
Oh,
overwhelm
well,
you.
yeah. No, I mean, hopefully we don't have any
When there's
mass pirates spawn anymore.
500 of them.
It grinds the server to a halt. Hopefully that's gone. So.
What is in the right hand of Tyler? Oh, actually, this is. I think I've showed this a while ago. This is the dog tags that Sniffle Wizard sent me. They say Tyler Whitkin on them and have a Star Citizen logo. I hold them during RTV. It's my good luck charm. It's why I'm doing so good. If I put them down, see, I'm not holding them anymore. I don't know what to say.
Everything goes to crap.
I don't know what to do.
Let's see. Will I see my Starfarer Gemini in the hangar? If you own a Starfarer Gemini, there's a good chance you're going to see it in the hangar in 2.4. Has Mark Hamill or any of the other actors played the current game at all to your knowledge? He seems super supportive of Star Citizen. Yeah, Mark Hamill tweeted out Star Citizen 3 days ago. I have no idea if any of them have played it.
Well, I'd like to extend a personal invitation to him if he wants to come out. I'll show him.
Yeah, Mark, you want to come over? You want to hang out?
Hey.
We'll play the game with you. I know the actor who plays Morrow. I know he plays because I just set him up with an account the other day. Actually, at like 1 o'clock in the morning, Chris emails me because he's in the UK. So Chris emails me, hey, can we set the guy who plays Morrow up with an account? And I did it. It went doot, 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 and I rolled over and got the email and rolled my happy ass out of bed, set him up. I could have waited until the morning, but I was like, yeah.
Hey, Jared. Here's one of the questions that you might be able to answer. At the end of all of your videos on YouTube, it says copyright 2015 CIG. Do you intend to update it to say 2016?
Yeah, when we file a new one. The year on a copyright doesn't mean that's when it's filed. Yeah,
That's
when
actually news.
when
That's
it's filed.
news
It's
to
not,
me.
It's not that it's not active in 2016.
Damn, I thought we had a wrong date again. I got excited.
Nope, he got you with the legal mumbo jumbo.
Damn it. Yeah, that was really cool seeing Mark Hamill's reply. Star Wars or Star Trek?
That made my
Star
week.
Citizen. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it's very. I understand the temptation to ask questions for what comes out after the game is complete, guys, but that's literally still so far in the future. I don't have answers for what's going to happen when the game is complete.
Yeah.
Just because,
particularly GPU and minimum system requirements
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
particularly because,
we
again-
haven't optimized anything yet. So
yeah, there's plans right now, but you know what happens to the best laid plans. You get better ideas, more new things come along. NVIDIA drops, a 1080. With all this new technology and stuff, there's all kinds of stuff to take advantage of. So it's just too hard. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to prognosticate on stuff that's going to happen years from now.
that's the best way to get QA to enter in a blocker bug. Tell them your plans.
Is there an update for Orgs 2.0? I don't think we're exactly ready to talk about it, but there are some really cool things happening.
Yeah, basically, Orgs 2.0 is more than Orgs 2.0. It's an update to our
It's
entire
grown.
platform. It's an update to our entire communication platform. We wanted to do all these cool things for orgs, and then when we got talking about, hey, we're going to do this, and orgs should be able to do this, and orgs should be able to do this, we're like, well, yeah, we want to do that on the whole website, not just in the org section. So orgs 2.0 is a full-on, blown out, a redo of our entire
badass.
communications platform, our chat system, our forum system, the community hub. It'll even hit issue council a little bit.
Yep.
It is a top to bottom redress of our entire communications platform, created by our guys in Turbulent. No more repurposing vanilla for our forums. No more repurposing XMPP for our chat. It is a bespoke solution for Star Citizen, and it will be. If we get half the stuff that Turbulent's talking about, we'll have more than any game has ever provided their people. So,
Yeah, it's
like
one of the
anything
things
else-
I'm most looking forward to right now. People are like, "Oh, what should we be looking forward to?"
Yes.
Orgs 2.0 and that whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So it'll be very cool. So it's approved, it's budgeted. They're building it now. Like anything else, how long does it take to build something you've never built before?
And now the
2
when
weeks.
questions flood in.
Yep. Lando, would you rather be in Donegal with Hamill himself? I don't know what Donegal is. Is that a place? I'm guessing it's a place. No,
Probably.
I can honestly say there's no place I'd rather be than here.
That
That's why
was
I
really sweet.
never see my house.
He means here specifically with me and Vinny.
That
by
is
the way.
not what I meant.
This-
Under
we all-
no
we all-
circumstances.
We
is
all
that
knew what
I
he meant. We all knew what he meant. Look at that smile.
No info on the next great Star Marine. That's been put on hold a little bit. We're trying to get a specific sponsor for that to help pay for it and get cool prize. We want part of it is when people do these competitions, we want to be able to provide them with cool prizes, and we had a lot of cool sponsors for the next great spaceships. We want to do that stuff. So we're still lining up sponsors and stuff. So no information on that yet.
Sorry.
1080 GTX hype. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually went and hit up our IT guy today.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, so when are we getting our cars?
when are we
He's
getting-
like, no, they don't exist yet.
Yeah,
Can't get them yet.
Not until the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting mine. I'm getting
Yeah.
mine.
No, I said, put in an order for as many as we can order, please.
Techno Mage says, "Is anybody actually working on cargo right now?"
Yeah.
Not going into details, but in one of our recent show and tells, we had an epic video that was put together by Calix, showing the stuff he's working on. And yes, cargo is being worked on, and yes, it's awesome.
And you'll see some of that in the Caterpillar ship shape next week.
Oh, really? We're gonna show that stuff?
A little bit of it.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Tractor beam and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Some of it doesn't exactly work correctly. So there's a part where the Caterpillar just opens up and spills all its cargo out. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that video is amazing, though. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite ones we've shown at the show and tells.
Well, we're not showing that video. This is a live version that we did with Calix.
Oh, that works.
So where nothing exactly works as it was supposed to, but we'll intercut bits from that video in. So for the parts that didn't quite work.
Okay, cool. I'm excited.
It's all a work in progress. The Shubin Interstellar contest was a lot of fun. Are we going to see any similar RSI events like this in the future? Yes, we have a mini game for the Buccaneer sale that we've been working on for the last 2 weeks. It's not quite Hyper Vanguard Force or anything like that, but it'll be a fun distraction for a little bit. Be real honest. Even though I'm intimately involved in the design and the creation of it, it's one of those game types that I'm not. It's not necessarily a thing that I'm about. So there are people who will love it though, and then there are people like me that will stare at the people who love it and go. But it's like those farm games. I don't get the farm games. Toast plays the farm games every time.
So
every
does
once in a while.
Nanetta.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll come home and Toast is farming on his computer. I'm just like, what? I don't.
Does he invite you all the time? Nanetta invites me like all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No, I don't. I unfriend people who invite me on those things.
I
But
can't do that.
I recognize that some people enjoy those types of games. I don't have to. It's okay. We can be different, and we're both okay. So it's not a farming game. I was using that as an example of a type of game that it's not a Star Citizen farming game. Although now that I have that in my head, maybe the next time the Endeavor comes back around, we'll see.
I
what we
can see
do.
the Reddit post already. Lando
Lando says
confirms
there's a farming
farming.
game.
Somebody go post that.
Da, 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 da. Let's see.
Will melee
Bobcat says cutlass, 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 cutlass.
The answer is yes.
Yes. Work on the Drake Caterpillar will directly influence later work on the cutlass. So the Drake is a much bigger test bed for figuring out all the style guides and the Drake personality and stuff. So it's one of the reasons the Caterpillar is not, or rather the Drake is not in revision right now, because we're learning all the lessons we can on the Caterpillar and the Herald before we do it.
Will melee combat be a viable form of combat? Will we have an assortment of weapons? I don't know all the details, but I know that knives will be a thing. I know that there are some interesting Vanduul weapons, and in Star Marine, you could have pressed X to melee someone, which was hitting them with the butt of your gun, or if you didn't have one, punching them. So, yeah.
Now, why do they always get asked that question?
Because your name is Vinny Sinatra.
What'd they say?
You're like the-
I am third generation mafioso removed. Thank you very much.
The question was, does Vinny have any background in the mafia? Vinny here is the only person in the universe whose name I'm genuinely jealous of.
Just because my grandmother went to Mickey Cohen's daughter's wedding.
I'm pretty sure he's got some type of pull. We went to a burrito restaurant when I was there, and he just walked into the restaurant, walked past the entire line, walked to the front, and his food was ready. And I was just like, do you know these people?
Yeah, well,
And then I had
okay.
a phone and I could order ahead like any other schmuck.
I have that at Five Guys.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I walk into my Five Guys and they just have a burger
Do
ready
they
for
not have
me.
phone orders in Austin? What's going on?
Yeah.
I had that at Rudy's, but they gave me something different every day. I didn't like that.
You didn't tip.
I'm an amazing tipper.
You got to take care of people. They take care of you. Hey, that's how it works.
Speaking of IRC, XMPP, and people who know what those things mean, I was really hoping SC would have a Linux Vulkan client ready at launch, so that it got backburnered like every other game. Well, it's the same principle with VR. It's when you've got a thing that affects this many people and a thing that affects this many people, you have to prioritize the thing that affects this many people. I think you'll find that's true in just about everything. Not just video game development, just in life. You know, it's literally a personification of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So it's just what has to be. So VR will come, Linux stuff will come. Well, it's just we have to prioritize what affects the majority of people first.
Vincent over here spinning tales about his Uncle Frank and
Actually, my dad's name's Frank. But I do have an Uncle Frank and
Yeah.
a cousin Frank. I got a lot of Franks.
yes, a lot of Franks in the
A lot
family.
of Franks in the family.
Any news on the Constellation Phoenix being flyable? No news on the Phoenix. Generally speaking, we're trying to do all the base models of every ship first before we go back and do the variants. There are a couple notable exceptions because a particular variant is necessary for some other aspect of the game, but for the most part, we are focusing on the base models before we go back through and do most of the variants. Again, with a couple notable exceptions.
Saw a question about the Let's Talk About series about the Starfarer. I prefer to let people actually fly one around before we do one of those, but eventually, going to get it to every ship eventually. So
Yeah, I think even then we give it a patch or two.
yeah,
let
yeah,
it iterate
yeah.
for a bit.
Let us get through some of the early bugs so you can actually see something.
Yeah, very rarely is the
little more
first iteration
concrete.
of anything exactly how
For
we
the
want it.
same reason, that's why I haven't touched the Cartual yet. People are still kind of getting into it.
When will we see the Vanduul language interview you did a few weeks ago? That's a good question. I also have that question. I don't know the answer to it. I have asked and didn't get an answer. I think they're holding on to it to make it part of a bigger thing.
Cytec prototype. I have to use them.
I'm sorry?
Cytec prototype. I want to know about that too.
Yeah.
I want to get my hands on it.
So would I. So would I. All right. Well, as we reach the bottom of the questions here, and I realize it's 12 noon, That wraps up this edition of Reverse the Verse. And I promise next week we'll be back to normal. We'll have Ben and Alexis and Justin and Hennessy running the cameras and all that normal stuff. I hope you enjoyed the last 2 weeks of this kind of throwback version of Reverse the Verse. Let's see what's coming up next week. We've got 10 for the developers. Actually, I can't remember who's on it, but I'm sure they're two very lovely people.
Interesting people with lots of stuff to talk about.
Absolutely. Next Wednesday will be another episode of Bug Smashers. Thursday's ATV will have Ship-Shaped Caterpillar 2. You'll see the continuing development of the white box for the Caterpillar. If you haven't seen Ship-Shaped Caterpillar 1, I highly recommend it because it'll be very cool to see the differences about how a ship can iterate even just in the white box space. And then another Lore Makers with Sherry. It's a 2-for-1 next week. She does the TAMSA and the Min system, if I remember correctly. Who's in next week's 10 for the developers?
Oh, it's a treat. The return of Gage Hellman to the big screen, and Eric Kyron Davis.
Yes, never mind. That's a wash. At least you'll have... No, actually, I'm a big fan of Gage. And,
Gage's
I love
This is
Gage.
actually
Gage did a lot of our clothing work for 2.4.
Gage made our Big Benny's April Fool's thing possible.
He did. He talks about that as well. They talk about some clothing and some Big Benny stuff. And people have not seen Gage in a long time since he was Happy Metal Dude. So
They saw him in the video, our April Fool's
I
video.
guess he wasn't that. That's correct. He was.
He was the one with
that.
he was the one with the Coke, wasn't
Yes.
he, or the glasses?
Some people might not have recognized
He had the
him,
hat.
so-
I don't
so
remember.
Prepare yourself if you only know Gage as Happy Metal Dude. He is now ridiculously photogenic hipster dude now.
Unlike some of us.
No, yeah, unlike most
Any
of us.
any parting words, Tyler?
Goodbye.
Bye, Tyler.
All right, guys, it's been Reverse the Verse. We'll see you next week. Everything will be back to normal. Ciao.